Hello, how's everybody doing? I hope I didn't scare everyone, or just part of you, or some of you, or everybody's scared now. How's everybody doing? Give me a second. I will be back in the chat. Sort of got disrupted with it. We're gonna get the show on the road in a second. And I believe by now everybody already joined. Just be patient with me. Right. Now I should be able to see the chat now. Of course, hello to Brad who was first, Leah, Thomas, Joe, Danny, Leah again, Michael, hello, Chobi, Christoph, of course, and Muhammad, hello, how are you? Hope you all are having a wonderful day. We will dive into things in about a second. I'm gonna get my chat situated. Alright, seems like it's all perfect and in order. Not too much of an exciting day. Some would talk about how, we've had some of a correction to the downside, a very minor gap on the opening, so all in all, a rather easy day, but it is meaningless. I've said before, sadly, we will be observing the market kind of having a more so what would feel like a movement to the downside. Yes, we will have high volatility. Volatility will be correcting up and down. We had a bit of a hold to correct right here on the VIX, so not all that surprising that we had the volatility drop down, drop back up. It's just kind of this game right now of feeling that hole right now we have right here with the VIX. So volatility had to drop down just to do this one little thing. Those who know, VIX doesn't like gaps. So not all that surprising. Does that mean we're all nice and set and done with? No, that doesn't mean anything. In fact, if you're attentive, we just kind of penetrated this gap that we opened up between the 11th and the 14th, but we haven't really closed it yet. I would argue far more likely than anything, especially with this building up momentum, at least in the short term, we're probably going to see a correction right here back to these ranges that we see on the chart right now. So not all that surprising, trying to fill in that gap. Hello, Alex. Good to see you, brother. I miss you. You, my Canadian brother. I miss you a lot. Alrighty. I hope I just didn't delete something important. No, I probably haven't. Alrighty. But we know 1 minute is not all that interesting. Let's switch quickly to the 5 minutes, see what we see there. At face value, quite bullish, already overturning. We've been oversold, normal, all fine and dandy, so not all that surprising. But based upon this, if anything, we're not moving to the downside, we're moving to the upside, which seems actually quite plausible. You see, we're right at that junction, right? We're having both trends kind of switching over potentially. We'll see whether that resistance will be the thing to hold us. Right now, it is resistance actively, and we're kind of having this convergence with the median of the short-term channel. You can kind of see them creating these awesome squares. And so right now, we're exactly at this intersection. Let's see how it will play out. This does seem rather bullish, but let's see what the other time frames are telling us. So whether we are going to continue the trend down, or are we going to continue the trend up, right? Whether we're going to retrace back into this trend, or are we continuing this short term, closing the gap. My assessment is closing the gap, but we'll see. For now, at 30 minutes, we are still in oversold territory. In fact, quite bearish right there. So bearish dominant, meaning we're losing steam with regards to our bullish momentum. It's not all that surprising. You can see the channel is right a tidbit below where we're at, but surprisingly enough, if it's in middle of the gap, it's not going to be all that surprising, right? Surprising. If the market will, hello Murat, good to see you there. The market will close this gap, continuing this oversold territory, basically continuing this momentum, being in oversold territory underneath 20 and having the D dominant, meaning the red line. Dominant red line is bearish. And we're starting to see something very thematic here. So basically the only place where we saw some hints of bullishness was on a very small time frame, 1 minute. Then afterwards, everything kind of flopped over and flipped over, if you will, and becomes a lot more bearish. So far, that's what we're seeing. On most of the time frames, all the way to the 45, we're rather bearish in oversold territory. In some of them, we're kind of doing this back and forth, we said, but mostly we are bearish, pointed to the downside, bearish pointed to the downside, so not all that surprising. Those who are more attentive, we are testing median on the 45 minutes channel. which far more likely to allow us to retrace based upon this bearish momentum that is taking place right here to that 5800, which is normal. We haven't really tested it at all. We kind of just penetrated and kept on moving, created a new gap, and really didn't verify any of these levels. So that actually makes sense with a normal behavior, normal trading behavior of the market we're familiar with. So not all that surprising. 1 hour, again, is that surprising that we're seeing something similar to the 45? As we said, these 30 minutes, 45, 1 hour are usually transitional to one to the other until we reach the 1 hour, which gives us a bit of an objective view of what really is going on, a bit of a further sort of picture from far away. From the further away we look at things, we're not going to get confused and misled by something we think is going on, because the big picture is always prevails. It's more important. Okay, so all in all, this is actually very interesting. If we're thinking about it objectively, we're in the center of the channel. We're testing median. We've been doing this all along. And this structure is rather bearish at face value. Remember, though, we are in overbought territory with this. Means we are basically seeing that reversal, if anything, when we spoke about this before, it mitigates the bullish momentum that should have been provided by the fact of the matter that the stochastic RSI already in oversold territory, right? The fact of the matter that we're in oversold territory, this just that fact of the matter within itself amplifies the market, accelerates it, if you will, accelerates the current trend that is going on. But really what we're starting to see is a breakdown, and weirdly enough, right on the median. It is a bit weird, but I would argue that this downtrend will be more visible and more understood to us on the daily. Makes sense? We're going to see whether it's a true downtrend or it is just a temporary convergence divergence right here before we continue to downside, because that's just the natural procession of the market. Will that mean necessarily a movement to the downside or to the upside? Let's try and observe and figure that one out. The daily, actually, the daily exceeded all my expectations to be 100% objective. The daily kinda got as far, well, above the 80% mark on the stochastic RSI, which does allow it to become a little bit more bearish, not surprisingly, the whole thing. But if you're more objective about what sort of the process is showing is that shrinkage, right, on both ends. The more it shrinks, it sort of shows how the trend is losing momentum on the grand scale of the trend itself, not just the particular impulse that we're having right now. So my feeling here, at least from what I'm familiar with, and at face value, it's bullish. I mean, about feelings that, before we get to talk about feelings, maybe I should take my feeling to the bathroom, as Tom and I like to say, maybe it will pass. But, I'm not your sort of average person when it comes to feelings. I'm not really saying what I feel, more so what I'm familiar with and my experience showed me, based upon what I've seen in the market for over the years, and I can tell that this is starting to curve down. Does that mean necessarily we're done with it? But, well, we have a hint. It's just something we have to keep in mind when we switch to the next time frame, right? To get an idea of what really is going on. Remember, the monthly is still the monthly. Nothing really not a lot changed on it. So the weekly is actually dragging out a little bit more momentum than expected. Those of you who remember on the last call, I was talking about how we're expecting to see convergence, divergence here, basically turning this a little bit more bearish. And it sort of got that. We got this inverted hammer candlestick, which in all reality, again, should be, well, let's see, we still have 3 days to close this candlestick, so we don't know. And my expectation is that we're going to turn back around right here. And, well, the outcome currently is at face value bullish. So we know at face value, if this is bullish, we're not going to try and have any gut feelings about it. So if that weekly is bullish, that implies that our daily definitely going to be more bullish. That means there's a little bit more momentum there to be squeezed out. How are we going to fulfill that? By testing the current range that we're in, closing the gaps or something of that sort. Hard to tell. But we're definitely going to be testing these levels again and again. We're not done with them yet, right? Same levels we spoke about this before. We're not yet. It doesn't also yet confirm that we're moving back to the 155.55. We're not there yet, but we are starting to see more and more of that loss of momentum, which indicates that. What about our monthly? Really, it didn't change a lot whatsoever. My expectation was that we will see during this month a little bit more of that indicative price action to the downside. Really, it's taking its sweet time, and we spoke about this in the community on our Discord as well. We've mentioned how potentially this entire thing can be dragged out all the way to election. Yes, we have like an entire month to wait before, basically, well, a little bit less maybe at this point, before we get conclusive results of what is this going to do. But the thing is, and this is something I said again and again and again, whether we see Trump getting elected again, or re-elected, one or another, that's going to be the correct term, or whether we're going to get the Dems re-elected, doesn't matter. Well, Kamala Harris, for that matter. This cannot be changed. In fact, we basically said, you know what? We took it as almost upon a goal, as a goal upon ourselves to squeeze out this entire wave as we get to that sort of end of the range, which we are at. And it doesn't matter who of them is going to be elected. There is no fairy dust that I can see that can change nor affect this enough for it to suddenly become, there's nowhere more to be bullish, basically. And we've been doing this process for a very long time. Those who are inattentive, basically, we don't necessarily look at the bottom of the thing. It's the entire impulse up. The way we're going to approach this would be this way. So we've been doing this, even more. We've been doing this, let's be more objective than not, about 670 days, not including weekends. So you see, we've been doing this for quite a long time. And these trends, these processes, as we said before, can take literally multiple years. And that's vice versa. Again, if it's the uptrend or vice versa, the downtrend, that's why we're expecting this to take, well, serious effect on everybody's portfolios and the market overall. But once it starts, it starts. Before it does, that's what we're going to get. Just stare at this until it completes. We have, again, 16 more days. Does that mean we're going to have to wait exactly 16 more days down to the minute when things will turn around? No, that's not how things work. If they would have been that much predictable, that would have been a bad thing. Another thing I would like to emphasize is how we are testing the edge of the channel that we've been basically testing all along. Those who are more attentive know this is a very long-term channel, and you know what happens often, or rather what happens when we reach the top. Of course, we have some slippage right there. We can see the market kind of slipping right there, right, going through the resistance and supports. But at the end of the day, what happens, we retain these trends. And so right now we're again testing the top, and that's kind of the hint that we might see a little bit more bullishness, dragging ourselves along the resistance. But what is far more likely than not, that sooner or later, and based upon the indicators and the technicals we've been looking at, it's far more likely that we're going to go for a correction, one sort or another, right? For now, just this is rather indicative on all the time frames that we just looked at objectively. Yes, we can go to the 3-month, which did not change pretty much since, got stretched just a tiny bit, does not change nor break the thesis of this is a descending trend and slowly overturning, right? It's going to be, at least that's how it's perceived by the tool. That means we're basically getting slowly this turnaround of the market is just ugly and extremely prolonged. So nothing has really changed on our overarching sort of picture of things. We're still expecting the same stuff. The market to start correcting rather soon. It's going to be tomorrow, today, in a week, I don't know, but we're basically around the corner to it. So nothing has changed with my thesis. I've actually bought more SQQs, so that's that. The market didn't know anything all that surprising nor substantial. I mean, as we saw, the S&P correcting to the downside. We know Palantir is now included, and of course takes more effect that is visible on the asset. The translation from the indices to the asset is a little bit more severe than usual. Tesla, all in all, rather flat. I mean, I would say kind of nothing. Those who are more attentive than not, more hawk-eyed, were basically, again, scratching that bottom, trying to test how we are gonna test that resistance that we've been dragged along for quite a long time. Yes, we hit off right now. We're not really on top of it, but the argument here is rather simple, that within a couple of trading sessions, we will find ourselves back to this support, at least as a support. We'll see whether we're going to break below or whether we're going to retain, a longer, so that we're going to drop. Does it matter whether we do this, right? I mean, both of them, the sad reality, to be more objective about this, is still a downtrend formation, no matter how you flip it. Okay, whether it's going to be this or that. That's just the objective thing that I see. The problem with this is that we see a lot of people miss the idea that we see them, or we see these sort of structures starting to form on all time frames. The other thing is with Tesla, those of you who noticed, is that yes, there are gaps to be closed, and as long as you see them, yes, they're perceived as gaps. It does not necessarily perceive the same way we do right here on the daily. We might have a couple of tiny ones, so yes, the market not necessarily going to just continue here and break down. We might see a correction and then a movement to the downside, rather this way. We're already starting to see some hints of it, but nothing has changed. Remember, I told you we're going to retrace back to these supports and resistances, and as you see, we are doing exactly that. It just took a little longer than I expected. That's the sad reality. There are fundamental reasons that are happening right now. There are fundamental parts of the story, of course, that have to do with Tesla, with Elon rather, and the latest showcase that they've done with the Tesla bus thingy, whatever it is. I mean, I'm not going to be an asshole, and I really don't want to go down that path, at least here. I'll be glad to discuss it in the community on the Discord. But I'm just going to say that this bus thingy is definitely not suitable for any city that has even the slightest amount of potholes. Okay? It's kind of going to be a problem. So I'm just saying. Brothers and sisters from Frame Fathers, hello. Arnold, actually, that's a good one. I mean, well, this is a good one, yeah. Shevet Achim v'Achayot, but the real one. You know, yeah. Thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate you showing up, brother. So Tesla, all in all, nothing has changed other the fact of the matter that with the bullish trend is not completely died down. There's probably a little bit more momentum to be completed right before we correct. It's kind of natural behavior of the market. I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to see this as we're moving through the body of the candle. This is going to be filling some of these gaps that are still visible in some of the time frames. Why? Because the bots work like that. They're not sentimental to the gaps. As for all they care is there is a gap, it needs to be closed. And they see all time frames at the same time. They're not sentimental to them. They understand they all need to be closed. It's all that simple. That's it. What is more accurate to say is that they are missing trading during particular time trade levels. Okay, during particular prices. And if they're missing action during particular prices, they perceive that to be the whole and a potential profit within it, and thus they start moving towards it, if that makes more sense, because that's really far closer to what really happens. So as you see, again, we spoke about this. We knew that is excessive. Everybody were, yeah, to the moon, and I was saying, guys, in fact, at some point, I kind of stopped. I'm tired of doing this, back and forth game with people who do not understand these processes are a back and forth, and sadly, I don't think Tesla is ready to break out based upon the overall momentum we're seeing on a larger time frame. And as you can tell, still moving to the downside. Once it's complete, we move below the trend and into that wedge one way or another, testing 165. As I told you, we will see 150 again, or 165 in this instance. Those of you who are more attentive than not, even the corrections or the slippage is becoming sort of shorter and shorter, but my argument is that this is not necessarily going to pan out this way, and once we do, somewhere around this area, once we complete, we're going to break back down with the rest of the market, right? We're going to break back down and move to towards the 106 area, which you might as well call it the 100 area, at which I'm going to be picking up with both hands. Okay, nothing has changed still. And those of you who think they will have one opportunity, usually naturally the market sort of does these sort of things this way. Doesn't mean it's going to be prolonged right into the edge. No. It might as well be done and completed right here, right? It is not in no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying generally that level, yeah? 106.84, far very important to remember. That's the future. Basically right now we're looking at S1, right? In fact, let me just give me a sec. Okay, so that's going to be, right, let me be more objective about this. This is S1, right, this area, yeah, S1, S2, which is this, 165, call it 150 if you insist, okay, And S3 is your basically what you might as well consider as 100, right? This area. Like that, ladies and gents. Alrighty. Yeah, we're on the same page. Hope you all, those who need to take notes, schmotes, motes, emotes, bumbotes, Chiburashka Ninja. Right, so we got that covered. Oh my god, oh my god. Right, so beautiful people, hello, Greg, liking, smash, Christoph, thank you very much indeed. Smash the like, subscribe. Damian, hello. I think I missed you. I didn't say hello, or maybe you joined and I just didn't notice. Damian, hello, hello, hello. Johnny Laurila. You, sir, also have very cool Italian, sort of ish, Spanish-ish, I don't know, cool name. Alex, hello, brother. Like I said, I noticed you joined there. Thank you for your time. Excellent. What do you mean, boys and girls? Thank you for your time. This is awesome. We're having a blast conversing about the market, seeing what the market has already done. You know, what do you mean? I enjoyed this quite a bit. Шалом, манишва. Алекс, молодец. Ну, правильно говоришь. Ну, молодец. Miss you, also sorry, busy. No, I understand, Alex. Bro, I know you're one busy dude. You have so many cool hobbies and you're all over the place and doing so many things. Bro, absolutely understandable. No worries. Hey, bro, please check ASML your thoughts. Murat, no problem. We're gonna do ASML for you. No problem, brother. We're gonna do that. Howdy. Hello, Casey. Mamatzav. That is so cool. My chat is full of Hebrew and all sorts of crazy things. So the Matzav is good. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate you asking, brother. Matzav is very, very good. It's basically we ask. That's how we greet each other. We say, "How's it going?" or "What's the situation?" But it doesn't sound all that serious. It's like, "How's it going?" kind of thing, which is the right, correct way to greet each other. Casey, you're a legend. In a year time, I could have 5 more kids. Not expecting any, but much can happen in 5 years. That's true. Not here really. Okay. We're heading to Mars, the moon, overrated. Gotcha. Moon is overrated. Okay. HRTG, I said this was going up. Michael, could be. I don't remember what I said. But hold on, hold the tickers. Hold on. We're gonna need still to take another look at Palantir. Boys and girls, a proper look right there at Palantir. Well, really, exactly what I said. I was wrong making it to here. The ranges are still all accurate and everything did kind of, at least so far, working out. We didn't make it to the absolute extreme range, which we said was the 45. We're correcting to the downside. What does the doctor prescribe? What does the doctor say that we're going to continue having here? Well, you boys and girls are already smart and educated and have been around. I'm sorry for the really confusing chart. Let's try to focus this stuff in so you can see a little bit more of what's really going on day to day. Alrighty. All right, let's do this beautiful thing. So, what can you see? We already have started the correction. We're oversold, giving us a little bit more bearish momentum. We know there's a lot of hidden bearish momentum right here based on this candlestick, or wick rather. We are basically retesting median, which is very normal. From this procession, basically on the procession of the normal procession of the market, normal cyclical behavior, we know and we've seen before when we do a channel, and which is why we're not all that weird. We kind of went into that wedge. I think I've mentioned this, that was created by these 2 different channels. That is, one of them is a shorter range, another one long-term range, slower, faster, that kind of things. Those who know what I'm talking about, no, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, those who don't know, it's rather simple. You can objectively see that the market slipped out, tested the resistance, got rejected, bam, back to our median move the channel, right? But the trick is that we're still very bearish, and if we're bearish and we're going to continue to see more bearishness, which we are seeing slowly start to seep in, it's gonna, well, it's like an avalanche, boys and girls. And is it really that all surprising that we're basically seeing, and we said this before, look, notice this, okay? Notice what you have on the weekly structure on Tesla, yeah? And we say, look at this, and look at this. Oh, God damn it. What do we have here? Okay. All right. A little bit. Well, it's about the same, really. Doesn't really help us. But yeah. You see what, do you see similarities, boys and girls? Do you see the similarities? Yeah? 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 Palantir? Yeah, you see this? And the fun thing is people are, oh, we just got coupled in with the S&P. No. Even the small caps, medium caps, companies that are highly related and correlated to tech were moving in tandem and coupled in with the rest of the indices since, well, 4 years now, really. I mean, actually more, but 4 years very coupled very accurately, right? And that's those who understand these phenomena understand it's not all that abnormal. Look, weekly, right? You have your weekly right here with Palantir, and you have your monthly right here on the S&P. You think that's a coincidence? No, it's not. Don't forget the S&P is far overreaching, far longer, took longer to get here. This is why we're going to see the same phenomena appear on the monthly, and Palantir is a rather new asset. But the same averages created the same structure, give or take, of course, with slight discrepancies, right? You can see them. Yeah? We're on the same page? Good. Mumitsov. No Mars, Arnon. No Mars. We are heading to the Uranus. Yes. I said, what is that? What's going on? What is going on? Give me a sec. I have a very... Oh, something here went... Bzz. It was annoying me. Bzz. Now it's not annoying anybody. Okay, now. Where were we? SoFi. I wanted to take a look at SoFi because everybody's hyper excited. Look, SoFi is doing crazy things. Actually, this is good for the correction I'm expecting. The reason being is we said if the range is 8 to 6 and 4 when it corrects, this potentially, if we'll hold these levels, actually sort of helps you guys, because those who remember I said 4 is not even the worst case scenario. So SoFi actually, given this rally that we got, it doesn't mean much. This is inherently connected with how the market has been behaving in the last, I would say couple of weeks, right? So we're testing similar highs as before. Again, something that I said could happen, but very unlikely given the fact of the matter how far how far stretched we are out of the channel. We usually do not end up moving into the previous channel as much as we move to the next channel to the right side. There's a logical reason for it if you think about it. More so, what's again, how about we look at it this way? It will make a lot more sense. There's a wider channel that you're not seeing. Some of the movement, of course, taking place on the higher end, some of it on the lower end of the channel. Doesn't matter. All in all, what we're doing, what we ended up is having this artificial rally right into the ES, and I think this is very smart of them, and they did this on purpose. So very, very shortly, this is a preparation to get it back down, right? We're still retaining the channel, and if we're objective about this, we are already in overbought territory, given some time to get to earnings and the correction. All right, that's just and that actually is good. That is actually a good thing, because that will keep SoFi from these two ranges that I said potentially if shit will really hit the fan, and it might go as low as the ranges of the $2-3, right? Which people are like, oh, what, really? Yeah, really. And if SoFi will retain its current value before we hit earnings and severely get impacted right away, very severely, potentially that makes the lows, instead of twos, threes, it's more going to be like 4s and maybe 5s, maybe if it's like lucky. Small caps get oftentimes they're smaller. You're less confident with them. SoFi is not really doing all that hot. Noto is a good guy, good intentions. If he will keep the company, and it's important that people who really believe in the company will be the CEOs. Otherwise, the company will crash and burn. He might survive the storm. Am I saying it's going to be easy? Hell no, I'm not saying that. In fact, I'm saying we really haven't seen the storm really show its true nature, if you will. We're just kind of smelling some of that, salty air coming in, but otherwise we're not there yet, so chill. But once we will, it will be very unpleasant for SoFi. I'm sorry, I'm just saying what I see and I understand based upon the current market. We might see a bit of a rally before. We might test this 11, by the way, those who are wondering, 11, 12s. Yes, we still might test them. Market likes to do these sort of things, especially when the opportunity arises. So yeah, this might not be the end of SoFi with regards to how high it may go. It may even test closer to these 12, to this 12 or 1170-ish area, basically. Just to put it in normal perspective right here. The rest are kind of interesting. Maybe Nvidia is a little bit interesting. Apple today did a bit of an interesting move. I mean, kind of impressed, not gonna lie, especially considering that there's a ton of reviews on their new iPhone that is basically crap and nothing new, and like basically, well, people are disappointed. Still, it just goes to show how strong of a cult this is. Really, if you're objective about this, we're testing median, which is a bit abnormal considering how the market sort of behaved around this channel. If we're objective about the momentum and the structure, still nothing changed. We're still moving to the downside. We know what there is on the downside, what we will be testing. I do think eventually we'll be testing that negative wedge that is being created right here, and only then end up correcting back to similar levels to 200 and lower. Yeah, but this is just the beginning. Yeah, I know it's like, Greg, what are you talking about? We're actually up. Again. It's the same similar way that in order to go up, sometimes we go down to go up. In this instance, we go up in order to go down. It's kind of the opposite. That is Apple for ya. And yeah, that's it. I think we can go to tickers and schmickers because that's going to be a little bit more fun. We said we want... you want what? ASML? ASML. Let's do ASML. Let's see what we have right here. Not this. I think I spoke about this last time, no? I think I've mentioned this probably is what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure there was some mention of this. Yep, I pretty am sure I remember we spoke about something. We mentioned that there's more correction to be had to the bottom of the channel testing. Now we're below. What's going on? I mean, Murat, you can see it is not doing all that hot, right? Already on its way to oversold right there, kind of completing that thing. That is definitely, bottom looking, right? Which we understand why. We still have that right here, which gives us about, 660, call it? Of course, with some slippage, right? Some slippage, slipper, and it could be some very serious slipper. And this could be the transition to the next channel. This could be, my friend, this could be. Look, the monthly is not looking too hot for you. I mean, you're already running downwards ahead of the market. What anus? I don't know. I heard the anus is planet. You don't know? We also have to be very mature here and behave because my channel is getting monetized and stuff, right? So we have to be good boys and girls here, not say nonsense. All right, we've gone that. HRTG. You wanted HRTG. What did you write there? You wrote, I said this was going up. So, Michael, why do we need to take a look at this? If you said it's going to go up and it's going up, then why are we looking at this? I mean, you're closing the gap. Seems to be here. Obviously, the market is very highly interested in trying to close and fulfill that thing here. Make it close. And that's why the market is sort of testing this support right now and not really doing anything. You're probably doing this. There's probably a good reason for this. There's some scam that we're not seeing that's going on here. It is a scam, I tell ya. A scam. There's a scam going on here. If you understand what I mean. There's quite a scammy scam that is going to be happening right there. Pardon me. I had to clear my throat. I thought I'm going to die. Now, so that's that. And scammy, very scammy. The market is trying to scam you into thinking the correction is coming. Correction is not coming. You're scam. The market is going to scam you. Yep. Michael, don't be disappointed. The uptrend is temporary. The market is scamming you. It is doing the scamming on you. Yeah? Yeah? Are we on the same page? It is doing the bullshit. It is cheating on you. It is doing the cheaty. Cheaty, bang, bang. Hello, Mamba. Good to see you. Hello, Chris. One second. I'm going to see. Yes, we will. Thomas, we will. Tomas, we will look at PayPal. I swear, I give you my word, we will. But first, what did I miss on the top? Have I HRTG? We said, okay, the market is generous with second and third chances, but Stinger with fourth and fifth chances. Stinger, all right. Yeah, Stinger, I see. Stingy. Alrighty. It's a very good point, Casey. It's actually, you're not that far off. There's a lot to what you're saying. Look, the cyclicality of the market, there's, I will say it this way, there's a lot more hidden from the average observer or the average sort of market participant. And oftentimes you're actually correct. It's going to be either the third or the fifth cycle that ends up being. Of course, there are far overarching larger cycles that do take place, and you do need to know how to trace them and understand what they're related to and which one is going on right now. Understand the momentum. It's a little bit more convoluted than that, but you're not that far off. You really do. Again, without knowing, I do think you are saying something that you don't really realize fully how important it is. I'm guilty of taking some profits with Tesla, as wasn't impressed with Robo event. I totally get it, Chobi. A lot of people were kind of disappointed. The robots that were not really robots and mostly piloted by people, it was just kind of, scammy a little bit. I see we're on the theme of scam and scheme and scam. And by the way, boys and girls, on the Discord we officially activated phone number verification. That means if everything will go right, we'll see a lot less scammers in the future from here on out. We've put a lot of effort in our community, and we are very tired from the numerous attempts to scam our members. So we're putting, as you guys, boys and girls, can see, we're putting a ton of effort into this to mitigate the possibility that people will be scammed. And so I know maybe, first of all, I want to reiterate and emphasize that we're not going to see any of the phone numbers. This is not data that we accumulate or anything of that sort. It is merely an official, by the way, internal system of the Discord, and all it does, it verifies your number, and that's it. It's all gone. No one will retain any of your information. Just something that you have to, and it's completely secure. Have been in use for actually many years at this point on Discord. We just didn't want to inconvenience you, but sadly, to improve the security on the server, we had to do this. By the way, it's not a big deal because most of us are already verified with our phones, just to be clear. Most of us don't have to do anything. It's like most of us are already verified, so it's all good. You continue as if nothing happened, basically, just informing you, boys and girls. So yeah, Chobi, no, you're good. Don't worry about it. I do think you've done in my opinion, it's just an opinion, not financial advice, none of that crap, but I think you've done the right thing. I really do think. And it's not just based upon the, event, as much as we've seen the market getting prepped for some form of a correction. So it's going to be wise at least to take some some cash off the table, if you will, some powder, keep some reserved powder in your, off to the side, if you will. Start accumulating that. Hello, brothers from another, mothers and sisters from others, misters. Make sure you like the smash and bell the ring. I absolutely admire Christoph for being an awesome friend and moderator and an admin. Christoph here is an admin of ours on the Discord, and thank you, brother, for reminding. Yes, boys and girls, smash the like, subscribe the bell, eat the YouTube. I don't know, do whatever it wants. Yes. What? James, what are you talking about? Okay, okay, we'll see. I'm sorry, I jumped a little bit there. Give me a sec. Italiano. Italians usually have the coolest names, I gotta say. Italians really do have the coolest names. Johnny, Laurila. I don't know, maybe. I'm guessing. Italian. We're not really listening, Greg. We are here for the popcorn. You're here for the Excel sheet, Arnold. Don't confuse. Which I don't have. I'm so bad with taking profits. I'm up 147% on Palantir. Is now a good time to sell? I don't know, James. We cannot. This is not financial advice. This is not the intention of this channel. The intention is to present you guys with the actual facts as we see them on the charts, right? I discuss what I'm seeing, and it's up to you to manage your portfolio. I cannot give you financial advice. There's a reason why it says in the beginning of the video, not financial advice, big red letters. But I can show you what I see, how I analyze this, and it is up to your abilities and choices to manage your portfolio. Yeah, it looks like you're up very decently. Addressed to anyone. Anyone! Can anyone? Anything said to me is not financial advice, of course. Yeah, James, but it's not about that. Look, it's not just for being assholes, but it's more about not giving you the answer that you're seeking, right? As if we're guarding it, some guarding. No, we all have different risk aversion. We have different liquidity. We are at different stages in our lives. It is literally impossible to give, even if you really want to give somebody proper financial advice, it is technically impossible to do that unless you really know the person very well, right? And understand their goals, intentions, and many other factors that I've mentioned and didn't mention even. It's up to you. It's up to you to decide what you're doing, how you're going to play the upcoming months. I sadly do perceive the market to have a deeper correction, and I am so impressed. This is phenomenal. This is basically, we've gone almost $5 above my expectation, right? So if we really want to be objective, I mean, we've done 6%. You know what? Call it 6% higher than expected, right? This is a lot. This is a lot in objective point of view, just for the mere recent sort of, push. If you really want to be objective, it actually made more than, we're saying that was the 38 levels. Some slippage, so sure, let's say. The market overshot my expectation by almost, call it 14%. So yeah, objectively, and this is why we don't time the market. My expectation was that the market itself will start breaking down prior to Palantir actually making it that high, and thus being affecting Palantir itself and breaking lower. And I've given it, I cut myself some slack here. I mean, honestly, I have. If I really want to be really, tremendously precise about this and meticulous, I might as well say 1448%. So damn it. I mean, if I would have been looking to trade this particular movement, I would have missed it, even with my abilities. At least, again, the original prediction. But remember, it was predicated on the overall markets building a certain structure and me being slightly off on the calculation. It does happen. I'm also human, and that's why I don't try to catch particular prices as much as I look for ranges, especially in such very volatile markets. If the markets weren't that volatile, that would make a little bit more sense, but the markets are very volatile. That's why we get what we get. Let's look at the market in a bit of a more digestible fashion right there, so you guys can see this. Well, of course, we're in a gargantuan time frame. What are we doing now? You see, it seems very volatile and all that, but it's not all that much, not all that impressive. So we're able to push out a little bit more. Yes, the market can stay rational longer than we can stay solvent. Normal. There's nothing here that that you can sort of write home about or be tremendously happy and say, oh, that's so amazing, we've done this. No, we've done nothing. So yeah, we put a little cap on top of the nothing we had prior. It's like, I hate to say it, right, if this is a larger structure, all it did is stretched out the edge of the head, if you think about it. Like, we did nothing, all in all. I hate to say this. I'm not trying to, take away from the Bulls. Come on, be objective. What is this? And you know that, come on. How are you going to escape this? Magically continue pumping out momentum from here to Timbuktu. Okay, so you pushed out your 4 hours. Okay, you pushed out even your daily. Awesome. You were able to even do a little bit more on your weekly, retrace some of that lost momentum, well, gains that we had basically, and then you squeeze out the leftover momentum, and what's then? What are you gonna do about this? That's yeah, and we're not even going to talk about that one, right? Come on, that's just I was saying, guys, I was saying a long time ago and saying that I don't know if this is gonna still remain until we get to these areas, and I thought the Fed will actually be smarter and prevent this thing, but seems the Fed chose to play this weird political game that, yeah. My expectation if Trump is elected, JP is going to be out on his ass. Unless it's some really convoluted plan that I don't understand. That was the intention, and I don't know. But this is not looking good for JP. All I'm going to say. I don't think he's going to get Janet Yellen's job this candidacy. Nope. Sorry, JP. Yeah, Leah, actually, what? No, not a bad idea. Why not? You know what, boys and girls? Let's do PayPal and compare it to SoFi. Sure, why not? Let's. We already done SoFi, right? We know what we've seen on SoFi. Are they really comparable though? You really think they're such a good comparison? Do you really think so? PayPal, Babel. Bubble. Actually, I use PayPal on pretty much on a daily basis. Well, yeah, PayPal is a payment service I use. Well, transaction service that I use in order for my students to make transactions to me. So, by the way, which brings me back, I still have one spot for my one-on-one technical analysis academy. There are some interested people. Of course, don't miss out if you want to get started and not miss on this run, because once it's taken, it's going to be the academy is again going to be locked until further notice, until I have more spots. And everybody kind of in the beginning still, and some took the extended academy and with extra lessons. So yeah, that's going to take a while until I'm going to get back to having open slots. So hurry up. Last final spot, both public members and Patreon members and all that stuff. Don't miss out. Gives you plenty of benefits that I'm not a good salesman, so I'm not gonna do that here, right? So right before we jump here, Anthony. Well, Eda, you'll have to wait a sec. We're gonna get to this, I promise. Hello, Eda, good to see you here. We're gonna take a look. Boys and girls, do not bombard with tickers. Give me a sec. We still want to take a look at SoFi and PayPal here to compare them. But the question is, Leah, do you really think they are a good comparison? Look, let's be objective about this. One strives to be a bank, and the other one is more of I'm not even gonna call. They're not a Visa. They're more like. I mean, they're PayPal. We know exactly what they do. They simply allow us to have digital wallets to transition money, to transfer money from one side and another very quickly and very efficiently. Right. Their commissions are a bit high. Not gonna lie. They have done a lot of not consumer friendly things. They have a lot of issues. If you look back, some of them are actually relatively recent. So PayPal are not really doing all that amazing, right? Um, but they're good service. They're global. They have certain advantages. I wouldn't call them moats per se, but they do have certain key advantages over their peers and the sector. But the question is, are they really a good comparison, right? So, for example, if we're looking at this, right? Let's just kind of clean it up a little. Right, let's see. We're looking at the daily and the daily. So we had this bottoming right there, right? Very similar, coming out of a rally, right? You see, very, very similar. We're actually seeing something very similar. Is that all that surprising? No, not all that much. This rally is predicated on the years. Notice what years when it was happening right there, right? We all following, wink, wink. Please don't write it in the chat. No need. It's not gonna help. We all understand. We're all adults here. SoFi, likewise, we came down from that artificial rally that was actually this thing, which we understand the years that coincidentally it's kind of that period of time that when everything stuck to the wall, right? Everything is through the wall stuck. So as we said, there are still levels to be tested on the high end. But it is, on the grand scale of things, right? If you look at the big picture of the thing, we're already running hot and getting ready to correct one way or another. Fair assessment. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but it's more like this, if anything, one way or another. And that is daily, right? So if we're going to look at this on the daily, here we're already started, right? We're already moving downwards, as if PayPal has more room to move. Well, it kind of does. 66, 10. 66, well, 79 rather, the 66 area where we have that, kind of matching these supports. We have our SMA, right? We have room to go towards these areas. Fair enough. And that is kind of, well, that's why I'm saying it's screwed. So yes, both of them still have a lot of short-term momentum to be squeezed out to the upside, but it is still all the same picture once we flip over. And we're in a way, if you're going to look objectively at PayPal, it's already on the way down. The fact of the matter that we haven't really amplified the effect by reaching oversold territory. Wait, just a little bit right there. So, and yeah, I mean, if you're looking at, is that all that surprising that we're running hot and about to overturn? No. Financials are going to get hurt. It's not going to be. It's not surprising if people are going to be short on money and they'll have to tighten up their budgets. I really don't see them, spending left and right. Everything will shrink. Discretionary, non-discretionary spending. It is what it is. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. That is that. I hope I was able to answer your questions. If a correction will come, do you have an idea how much? I have my expectation that the market will, the SPX particularly, will go back towards the range of 3,300. And that's all I'm going to say. And I could be wrong. I do have an expectation, an assessment, if you will, that our lows will be around the, where was it? What did it just do? That was not intentional. That was not intentional. We are looking at very, very low. What am I doing? We're looking at, well, why is it taking me forever? Because I'm a moron. We are looking at about roughly these areas. So it's going to be a range, and I've said this before, it's going to be this range, right? Kinda. So can even be lower, right? Even be lower. Yeah, it can be lower. 3232.62, but it doesn't have to be precise. As we said, the market has about well, the accuracy of a headless chicken, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of the range. That's what I'm expecting. Am I correct? No one knows. It's not financial advice, just the crazy meandering analysis of some crazy dude. That's my expectation, and that's why we expect the market to go to and everything with it. We were saying, right? Eda wanted APH, APH, apach, and phenol, right? Eda, what is this? Why do I know what this is? Eda. Mm. Not all okay. I mean, not that bad. Think we already seen this. I think we already looked at them. I think we already have, if I'm not mistaken. Hmm. Hmm. I will tell you what, Eda. Which would be, of course. Yeah. Look, it is not good. I'm just gonna say it is not good at all. We're probably gonna have to follow up on this, but we're gonna probably need to follow up on this. But yes, it is not looking good for them. It doesn't mean that's the end of it all and we're going down here. No, if anything, it's a convergence, divergence, retest. But it looks like the structure is about to finish. You maybe have one more impulse to go and you start to correct downward, if at all. And this is kind of fake out, so you're still gonna test your highs probably. You're still gonna see your 70s again before you actually break down. But what I'm saying here is that your quarterly also starting to look poo-poo here, and that's not good. Eda, this is will correct down. What are you looking at? You're probably looking at the floor. So it's gonna basically it's this. It's gonna be this area. Let me just see how off or not am I, and I'm not. It is gonna be this, of course. It makes sense. That's your first kind of real area you want to be objective, the strong. Of course, you're gonna have here internal. I can already see it. It's kind of there. No, I'm off. I'm off. I just kind of like that ish. I have a feeling, right? Yep. There we go. Here is your temporary short-term structure. Not all that surprising. 2-1. Okay. All right. So, did you have a post depreciation? Yeah, well, you did. You did. You had. So, Eda, look out for the 50. Call it 60. Call this. I mean, it still is 59. Not gonna lie, it's actually pretty goddamn accurate. Maybe even low. Yeah, it's like a 50-60 area, right? You can see. Ooh. 59-60-ish area. This wonderful stuff. Look out for it. Conveniently, your bottom of the channel is right there, merging like that, right? Giving you this wonderful thing. And yeah, like look out for 59, even if you're gonna test this high prior to, even if which could look more like this, if anything. Right? At best, this is your best case scenario, by the way. It's not going to match necessarily. It's going to be slightly below, slippage out of the range, test, boom, shrink. All right, we've done that. Edan, let's go. Crowd runner, stop under Mamba. Okay, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We said 290, where I see obviously we were talking here about 290, 280. And we are on the right path to it after testing the median here. So far, looks like I was on point without even saying. Like, thank me for reminding me that I had marked these areas. Me. Yes. But I mean, yeah, that's what we're saying. Is it all that surprising? No. Me told me, and me was correct. You have a good evening, Leah. You have a wonderful evening. No worries. We do understand. Thank you for dropping by and hanging out with us. I tremendously appreciate everyone's time here. So, of course, have a good evening. Thank you. All right, let's see what else. Oh, Leah is already dropping off, and she had questions and stuff. I see what's going on. I was right. Took some calls and for break. I'll dump them with the tiny loss. Mamba. Yes, closing the app. Right, gotcha. It comes down to liability issue. We'll get funds 100%. Retrace our side will fade. Then we can pump to EOY. And that's not, they're obviously not talking about year's end, but GamePal? I'm confused. I probably missed something. Not really comparable, but I see what the conversation that I see. I understand. Okay, sorry. I was behind. Don't stop using PayPal. They will lose golf of their revenue if you stop using it. Not for the shareholders. No, I don't think I make a dent, but they're good. I mean, I'm kind of annoyed and disappointed by how high their commissions are, but otherwise they're good. They are reliable, and I do think because they are reliable and known and used by everybody, that is, it's not a moat, but it is something. It is something they hold. It is an advantage. They do have that. We cannot take that away from them. Convenient, and not like yet. It was good. Diversification on financial markets. I see, Leah. I see the thought was there. For correction, do you have an idea? We said that how much? I knew I missed something, but the trend is nice and but market can surprise us a lot. Exactly, Christoph. Very good, very good. Well, I'm still feeling SoFi because of the student loans. I feel a scare on their customers somehow. Okay. Seeing that on the chart makes me feel good about a skip and prefer another chance maybe. Okay. Well, Leah imagined that student loans were taken away completely by Biden and they still managed to grow at a lot without their core business model. What's more impressive? That's true. Actually, Christoph, that's a good point. Let me switches and stuff for NVIDIA. I see, and I mean all sorts of little thingies, yeah, peripheries to their stuff. I see, I know, I realized. I think we spoke about them before. Mm, shown what they are capable of. Haven't seen a company that adaptable at this scale. Okay, okay. HRTG looks good. Okay, I will dive more into the fundamentals. Thank you both for input. Absolutely, Leah, pleasure. I probably assume she already left. He, she, I believe it's a she. I hope I'm not being a stupid moron. But I wouldn't FOMO into exactly, Christoph. Very good. Wouldn't FOMO into anything, if anything. Green sign there. Okay, so underlying factor are quite good for self-income. Yes, look, the grand scale of things we said, if we're looking outwards, 5, 6, 7 years, sure, absolutely, both of them. Something like that. They are up as much. Okay, yeah, haha. I'm gonna have to leave. Yes, we said my kids need to sleep and I need a snack. Alrighty. Have a good evening. So, madam, I'm assuming, with that phrasing, with everything to all, and thanks for the nice presentation. As always, see you next time. Absolutely. Thank you for showing up. Like I said, thank you all for showing up. See Alia, Mamba, shout out, legend. All right, just FOMO into Greg's live, of course, and the like and bell button, belly button. Yes, absolutely do that. I'm only I confirm that. I believe that is a good thing to do. Oh, look at that, boys and girls. We are closing the gap. Will we be able to? Yeah, we're about to close the gap. We're probably gonna close the gap before the session ends. So we're having this wonderful thing. That is beautiful. It is beautiful. It is full of booty. Okay, we're gonna do this and it's gonna do that and it's gonna be good. And then we're probably gonna close around these areas somewhere in that corner. We're gonna close in the corner. We're gonna be in the punishment. So that looks what it looks to be like. It looks to be. All right. Well, boys and girls, I think I'm gonna adjourn today's meeting. I think today we've gone through a lot of fun stuff. We got to go through most of the stocks that we usually go through and look at. We got to look at your stocks. We got to ramble a little bit. And we see and understand what the market is probably going to do, so nothing all that surprising. I don't see a reason to hold you guys off from doing your own other stuff and sitting here with me and watching the market do not a lot. Probably stuff that we expect. So that's it. Leo, good to see you. Leo, good to see you. No, thank you all for showing up. You all are legends. Thank you all from the core of my soul. You guys are awesome. You that showed up to the live, and you, the people who will watch later. Boys and girls, I'm gonna drop off. I'm gonna go rest a little bit, probably maybe eat something. Watch the market close. Have some sessions still today. So, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna see anything all that exciting. So I think we've covered everything that there is to know about our expectation to today's end of today's session. Damian, thank you. Damian, you have a cool name. I used to highly look up to a parkourist named Damian Walters. I wonder how he's doing nowadays. Think an American dude. Really, well, quite a legend. Are you Damian? Are you Damian Walters? I hope Damian Walters is still alive. I haven't checked up on him in a million years. Really cool stunt dude. Amazing. Participate in a lot of movies we all watched. Cool dude. Awesome. Anyway, boys and girls, you all have a wonderful evening, night, afternoon, morning, whatever you have, wherever you're at. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Yeah, I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye for now. For today. For maybe. For 4, 3, 2, 1.